Welcome to Demo Day, where young innovators take the stage and showcase real-world projects to a global audience. At WEquil School, students learn to become innovators, teaching each other each week through their creations. WEquil App has thousands of novel and useful projects born out of our students' strengths, interests, and passions. But Demo Day is more than just a presentation. It's a celebration of innovation, collaboration, and the power of young minds. Join us on this incredible journey of inspiration as we witness the next generation of problem solvers and leaders. From Harvard professors to industry experts, our demo days attract incredible guest speakers who share their knowledge and ignite curiosity. Whether you're a young innovator looking to showcase your creations or a family seeking an extraordinary learning experience, Demo Day is here for you. Together, let's create a world where young minds flourish, ideas come to life, and innovation knows no boundaries. Join us for an unforgettable journey of learning, growth, and discovery. Welcome to Demo Day.
Well, I did make one other video, which is another one of the Naval series on decision
Good
making.
thing we showed up that day in the library in India. Like
Yeah.
that one day we just walked in
And
they
I
had-
just like saw the book there. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then we just bought it, and then I read it, and then just wrote a bunch of projects, and now I'm making a bunch of videos. So that was nice. But okay, wait, whoops, that's the other one.
I was gonna say this is part 1.
Yeah, this is part 1, but I'm doing it for every section. So I've
Oh.
done 3 videos so far just for this one project.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because it's a really long project.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Here's some more of my takeaways from the Almanack of Naval Ravikant. Prioritize freedom. Money can increase freedom, but in some cases may result in the opposite. Nothing will buy happiness. Whether you lose a limb or win the lottery, you'll always return to a baseline level of happiness. Seek purpose and meaning, as these are not fleeting. Build your specific knowledge and leverage it to add value to others. This is how to become irreplaceable. Don't play zero-sum games. Recently, wealth creation has become positive sum, as much of it is driven by software, and there's no limit to how much can be created. Retiring is not sacrificing today for an imaginary tomorrow. You can do this in several ways, but one is to love your work. Success will take time and effort, but more importantly, consistent time and effort. Lastly, condition yourself to love learning. Stay tuned for more takeaways and check out my full article in the description. Naval is a highly regarded entrepreneur, investor, and intellectual with many insights on how to be successful and live a happy and fulfilling life. So, here's some more of my takeaways from the Almanack of Naval Ravikant.
So
Yep.
all right, I think we need to talk about this for a bit.
Yeah, so it's not a great title, but I didn't really know what to call it. It's just called goals because I feel like it touches on several like goals that you might want to have, like prioritizing freedom, like retiring, finding happiness.
You could make
all
it
of those
slightly
things.
judgmental and call it better goals.
No, I mean,
I kind of feel that way personally though. Like
yeah, I
I've
mean,
kind
I
of
think,
gotten to a point of conviction around some of these principles that I just think that these are better. Like take zero sum, for example.
right,
There's just zero sum games everywhere.
yeah,
You know,
Mhm.
the way that you young people are engaging in collaborating together, none of you have to deal at all with any of the zero sum game crap. I don't know if I can I say crap? I said it twice. That kids in public school deal with to survive on a regular basis.
yeah,
You know, with like this, you know, who's cool, who's not, who's in, who's out, like,
Mhm.
am I wearing the right clothes? Like, it's just, you know, these are just zero sum game. They're a total waste of time. And a lot of parents keep doing these things too. You know, a lot of adults do later in life, and it's just not helpful. Like there's none of this like, well, whose project is better? Like that's actually something that like that happens, you know, like we're with this pitting of zero sum games with grades in school. Let's go ahead and grade all these kids and rank order them and decide who's better and who's worse. Like this isn't helpful, you know, and you guys are doing none of that in this, and that's great. So well, there's another one in there. What's another one you want to talk about?
Well, there were a few, and they're actually in the article set, but one was specific knowledge, which I couldn't,
We've talked
which is
about
becoming irreplaceable. Yeah, I couldn't really talk about what specific knowledge was because I only had
Don't play zero sum games. What's
Yeah,
another
one was like he talks a lot about conditioning yourself to love learning. He suggests like basically don't treat reading like something that you feel like you have to do. Like you've got to brag about how many books you've read. If you start reading a book, you have to finish reading a book. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
dumb.
yeah. And basically kind of just like feeling beholden to, oh, I've got to like read nonfiction. I can't read these books that I like because they're not like educational and all of that stuff. And it's like that book is actually very good though. And so I thought that that was a really good insight of just basically just have it so that when you're reading it's an enjoyable experience, so you'll just start to love reading a lot and then you'll just read everything. And
How to do that though? Like there are Jedi mind tricks that one can use. I think one for me, the easy one, is to just realize first that you don't really even know yourself super well. The more one can accept that they don't know themselves, the more it becomes obvious that they don't know other people.
Yeah.
And then they realize that they don't really know anything. But that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Because, well, if you don't feel like you know yourself, or then that kind of cascades into there's so much that I don't know. And then it's like, well, you actually don't know anything compared to the everything that is, right? Then how do you kind of feel good about yourself and not just feel so humbled that you're like humbled to a point of like, oh, I know nothing. Like I think part of that is kind of having a lot of self-love and courage and self-acceptance. And if you have that, then you can dive deeper into accepting that there's just a lot to explore and kind of turn that, oh no, I know nothing kind of terrifying paradigm into a, wow, life is interesting and exciting because there is a lot of stuff that I can discover. And good parents do that. I know Amanda and Priyanka just do that instinctively. I don't know if they would characterize it or speak of it that way, but I just know. And same thing with Nicole. I mean, Nicole Costier too. She's not here right now, but so yeah, kind of, because that is true. Like you don't see Alexia or any of these kids that are like, oh, I don't know what I want to learn about this week. I can't think of anything I want to learn. It's just that's not an issue, right? But that's not an issue because they've already cultivated this like curiosity, and I think that's where it comes from. But yeah, that's another thing that maybe chat about another time. Any other thoughts on how do you cultivate a desire to learn, lifelong learning? What do you think, Alexia? I'm curious about Alexia's thoughts on that.
I had to cultivate like a lifelong desire to learn.
Yeah, like what do you think help, like if you were to give advice to a parent that has a kid that's struggling with trying to become more curious about themselves, other people, anything, like what would you in a nutshell advise them to do?
Yeah, I think like the best thing I could think of is like if there's something they want to learn about, like try to encourage it. Like, because I think people are pretty nearly always going to have something they want to learn about or something they want to do. So I think it probably really helps if you tap into that. And yeah, instead of squashing it. And not be like, well, that's not what you're supposed to be learning. Like, you need to go learn this other thing that's like more important. Like go, yeah, encourage your kid to go learn about what they're really interested in and passionate about, because you also never know where that's going to lead.
Right. That was so perfect in my view.
Yeah.
So I say that ties into what I was saying though, in the sense that if you're like, I know your parents do this, But by doing that, they're telling you that your opinion matters and what you think is interesting, and that you should pursue and pay attention to your emotions and listen to yourself and have confidence in yourself and love yourself. And then that allows and enables more of that again, because it does get scary as you're exploring, because it's just intimidating. You know, like there are a lot of people, adults, kids, that want to believe that they know things, right? And that's in part because it helps us to feel better, right? So I think that by parents approaching kids the way that you just said, allowing them to explore those interests, they're implicitly giving them a lot of those tools to be truly confident and have respect for themselves, such that they can handle the, oh, there's so much kind of problem. But anybody else on that, or should we keep going?
Well, we have another presentation, so.
All right.